Good morning. This is your 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. Continuing to see those temperatures in the upper 30s and won't see those rising much as we move through the remainder of the day. Generally expecting those to be on the downward turn as some colder air moves in behind the front that pushed through earlier this morning, and we have since seen those winds become quite elevated, gusting up to 28 to 30 knots at times. So we are currently in a wind advisory. We'll likely see that wind advisory through much, if not all, of the day today, and possibly seeing it at times over the next 24 hours as we go into the evening time frame. But overall, we'll see dry conditions today, and we'll finish out the week with dry conditions before some potential another weather system will move in as we get into the weekend time frame. Looking at the current surface analysis, we had that boundary that was pushing through the area early this morning that is now pushing off to the east of our area and keeping that tight pressure gradient over the region with those elevated winds. And we'll see, as mentioned, dry conditions over the coming days as high pressure passes to our south and eventually moving off to the east, and that'll bring back some southerly flow into the area as we go into the first half of the weekend, bringing some slightly milder temperatures after today and tomorrow being below average. Taking a look at the current visible satellite, we see that lingering cloud cover around the area, slowly moving out of here. Should see some mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies as we get into the afternoon, as we do expect some of this cumulus field to develop over the area, but generally we'll see much more in the way of sun as we move into that afternoon time frame. We'll take a look at the European model here for what we can expect for the next several days here. As mentioned, going to stay breezy and dry as we move through the remainder of the day. We will see mostly clear, cold, and dry conditions as we move through the overnight, and continuing with that as we go through the day on Friday. We'll see those winds on the decrease as we go into the day on Friday. Still remaining slightly breezy, but should stay below that wind advisory criteria. As you'll see, this area of high pressure does pass to our south and off to the east, and that'll bring back more of a southerly flow, south-southwesterly flow as we move into Friday evening and overnight into Saturday. Saturday, with that southerly flow, we'll see some slightly milder temperatures for Saturday, back up to more seasonable norms, possibly into the low 50s. And we will see the chance for a passing light rain showers and move through the day on Saturday. It doesn't look to be anything too significant, quite low in any kind of precip accumulation, and points further north on the northern part of the Delmar Peninsula could potentially see some light flurries or maybe a light snow shower. But here at Wallops, expecting just a chance or a slight chance of a light passing shower as we move through our day on Saturday. We'll see some slightly breezy conditions continuing on Saturday as well, with a slight chance of seeing a wind advisory. But as we go into the end of the weekend, that's when we're going to be paying attention to this next potential weather maker moving in, particularly as we get towards the late morning time frame of Sunday. We do have that next trough that will be digging into the area. It's going to continue to bring another shot of some colder conditions into the area, and models are continuing to trend in the increasing likelihood that there is a area of low pressure that develops off the coast along that trough. And as you can see here, the European model does indicate possibly some snow falling on the northwestern portion of that area of low pressure as it passes by. Still quite a bit of uncertainty with this system, though, as we do have quite a spread in some of the solutions, but the general trend is towards the possibility of maybe seeing some accumulating snow locally here. Snow totals, again, a bit all across the board, still uncertain. Could see less than an inch, and some of the higher totals are up to 3 inches, but again, still a lot of uncertainty with that, and there's still the possibility we have a bit more rain mixing in with that. So we'll be narrowing that down as we move through the next 24 hours, but the trend is towards a higher probability of seeing the potential for some light accumulating snow as we move through the day on Sunday. But on the backside of that system, we'll see that pooling out, and things will dry out as we move through the first half of next week, and we will see some cold temperatures as that trough continues to sink in over the area, with some slightly breezy to breezy conditions at times as more winter-like conditions move into the area. But it does look like we'll see dry conditions prevailing as we move through the first half of next week, with high pressure eventually building in, but things staying on the colder side. So as we look at the 24-hour weather risk chart for today, main risk as we move through the next 24 hours will be those elevated winds with red conditions this morning, as we are currently in that wind advisory, and continue with orange conditions as we move through the remainder of the working hours. We'll see those peak gusts this morning up around 28 to 30 knots, and then a slow downward trend as we move into the first part of the evening. It's going to keep our temperatures from rising too much from what they are right now, so expecting our high around 39 degrees, and we'll see that downward trend with the temperatures as well. Going into the evening, we'll stay mostly clear. Overall, we'll see a potential picking back up of those winds as we go into the overnight time frame, with those peak gusts creeping back up towards 25 knots. So we increase back to an orange risk for another chance of seeing a wind advisory criteria exceeded as we move through that time frame. But going to see those temperatures bottoming out around 22 degrees, and with that breeze, we do introduce a yellow risk for the chance of seeing that wind chill below 10 degrees. Generally expecting those wind chills into the mid to lower teens, but can't rule out a chance of seeing a few single digits possibly as we move through the coldest time period of the next 24 hours. Tides are running about normal today. And looking at the extended forecast here, again, mostly sunny through the day on Friday. We'll see slightly breezy conditions, not quite as breezy as what we're seeing today, and should stay below that wind advisory criteria. Another day with our highs in the upper 30s, and then a slight rebound in temperatures as we move into Saturday with those highs pushing 50 to 52 degrees, and we'll see about a 20% chance of that passing light shower pushing through the area, but again, not expecting anything too significant. Then that next weather maker moves in for Sunday, generally given about a 50% chance of some precipitation moving through the area, and again, that trend has been towards better chance of seeing some accumulating snow, but a bit uncertain as to how much and the exact track and development of that area of low pressure that we'll be watching over the next 24 hours or so. And as we get into next week, it does look dry, partly cloudy, slightly breezy during the first part of the week, and things start to calm down, but we will see cold temperatures in the upper 30s to mid 30s at times, and those overnight lows could get into the teens as we get into the middle of the week. So that's going to wrap up the 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. We'll be back again tomorrow at 8:15. Enjoy the rest of your day.